Hi Capricorn, welcome to your October 2020 astrology and taroscope. The astrology for October is quite intense. It's actually one of the most, and probably at this point we can say it is the most intense month of the year, thanks to all the cardinal energy going on in the sky. Now we begin the month with a full moon in Aries, Aries being the sign that represents your family, your home, but also your past, and it's tightly conjunct Chiron, the wounded healer. So there could be some past energies that you have to deal with come to a head, and they could be quite tricky. It could be feeling very intense and emotional. Make sure that you find all your unhealthy emotions, write them down and burn them, release them. All the fears, all the anger that comes up around this time, all the frustration reaches a head, and you finally have a little bit of clarity on a situation that has been very frustrating. Now, we also have another full moon at the end of the month, and it will be a blue moon in the calendar, not astrologically speaking, but it doesn't mean it's any less magical, and it's going to be in Taurus. Now, this full moon is awesome. It is opposite, the sun is opposite Uranus at that point, but the moon is conjunct Uranus, and Venus is trining your ruler Saturn at 1 degree. So what does that mean for you? Well, it means that this full blue moon is going to be very exciting. It could be exciting in love. It could be exciting in any area, but especially love. It could be a surprise pregnancy, a surprise engagement. It could be surprise feelings come up at this time, but whatever way it works, Capricorn, I think it's going to be a very exciting time for you. Now, Mercury is retrograde in Scorpio, your sector of friendship, which is actually really interesting. You might reconnect with some old friends. You might realize some friends just weren't who you thought they were, and you're moving forward, you've outgrown them. Whatever this is, it's to connect you deeper to the energy of communication with your friendships, but also your wishes. You know, what is it that you really want to manifest and bring into the world for yourself? You're thinking about that quite intensely. And around that time is also the new moon in your career sector, the new moon in Libra. And it's kind of a tricky new moon, I won't lie. It's not the nicest in terms of Libra energy, but it is a time for you to set yourself some career goals and see where maybe the past is holding you back a little bit. Okay, so I will see you in the tarot, Capricorn. Have a wonderful month, and I will talk to you soon. Bye. Hi Capricorn, welcome to the tarot part of October 2020. The most chaotic month of the year and an accumulation of all the energies of 2020. So if you're feeling the pressure, that's okay. You're probably very sensitive to the energies. And in feeling very sensitive to the energies, you may be feeling quite curious about the future. But with all of the planets in your home sector and your sector of the past connecting to your energy, as we begin the final stretch of Saturn and Jupiter in your sign, you might be wondering, what can I do that I've never done before and that my past has possibly held me back from more than I realize? Judgment. Pluto will remain in your sign, and it will remain effective. There's big transformations in the sky as it is, and for you, Capricorn, a lot of those are very monumental. The cardinal signs at the moment are dealing with a lot of pressure. Whether you've just recently had very big news or you're having big news in October, I feel that as the Aries full moon at the moment, as I'm doing this, is reaching its totality, you're understanding more than ever how serious something is, or how much you feel you need to make bigger changes. It's not small energy. It's not 2019. 6 of Swords, 3 of Pentacles, the Ace of Pentacles, the 7 of Wands, and the outcome is the 6 of Pentacles. Beautiful leveling here. Beautiful leveling indeed. Let's draw a couple of clarifiers, the Moon and the 8 of Cups. And underneath, 10 of Swords. Okay. Capricorn. there is for many Capricorns, things have been very difficult. And you feel as though so much of what you've been going through recently has been fighting for something, has been hoping that something would turn around, has been hoping that something was more manageable or that you were more capable of it. Now, we talked in we talked a couple of months back, this is Libra season, not to confuse you, I confused myself. We talked about a couple of months ago, and it was meant to be in regards to the lead up to now, really. It was meant to be the lead up to this energy. We talked about how Capricorn, you don't always ask for the emotional support. Particularly sometimes I find with Capricorns, they don't ask for the emotional support so much from their family. Now, for a lot of you, there has been health concerns. There has been, with the North Node now in your health sector, there has been a lot of realizations of what way your body is reacting to certain things, what way your emotions are reacting, and where there may be blockages. And I think for a lot of you, there could be, in particular, a blocked root chakra is what I'm sort of seeing for many people, where you feel fatigue, you feel tired, you feel lethargic, you feel like you can't move forward, you don't feel like you have the momentum to get things done, you don't feel like you have the same drive that you wanted, the same enthusiasm. And one thing that I will say, Capricorn, is that now there's 2 full moons this month and a new moon. One of these moons for you marks great change, and it's an ability to move forward from something, even if you feel a little bit torn. The full moon and the 8 of Cups for me means finally leaving behind a cycle where you've learned everything that you need to know, where the truth has become clear. And for a lot of you, I do think that could be health related. I also think that it could be more to do with your family life or your past, realizing that a certain unconscious need was never fulfilled, that you have felt like you're missing out on something or someone, that you feel like you've been missing out on a feeling for a long time. And in your ability to climb, Capricorn, oftentimes stopping to acknowledge the inner child for you feels, it doesn't feel as productive, but oftentimes it's when you do that moment of reflection, of understanding, of self-compassion, that's when you suddenly realize how high you can actually go. Because until that point, you may have thought in your mind, I can reach the top, but the top of what? How high is the mountain? Capricorn, you're determined to reach the top, but you have to figure out what mountain you're climbing and how high it really is. A lot of you could go much higher, and that's what you're going to do. So 7 of Wands is your challenge. Feeling like you're having to fight for something. Maybe you feel like you have to fight for your health, your family, your life, your children, your romantic relationship. Feeling like you have to continuously get things right, make things work, make things successful. And at the moment, Capricorn, your frustration lies in your transitional phase. Because the energy at the moment with Mars and Saturn and Pluto and, the rest of the guys, I suppose, a lot of it is to slow you down, to make you see. And what Mars wants you to see is what's going on in your heart. Because the 4th house, and I know that a lot of people say, Capricorns will say with Mars retrograde in Aries, but I don't have family issues. Well, maybe not. But maybe your past has some issues that you really would be better getting to grips with. Maybe it's to do with feeling safe in a home. Maybe it's to do with an experience in childhood that wasn't anything to do with family, but could have been prevented. It could have been different, and it can be small. Trauma of any kind to a brain of a child is significant, even if it's small. It could be something as simple as falling over and nobody comes to get you. And I'm not saying that you have to get stuck in trying to figure out every aspect of your life, because that, of course, does not seem productive. But anybody that wants to be successful needs to take on their journey a more conducive approach to understanding that they are human in a corporate world, in a corporate machine. In a business world, you're still a human. And in the true sense of a patriarchy, getting to the top can oftentimes mean that people have to sacrifice that. But that is changing, Capricorn. So if you want to be successful in the new world, you're having to change too. Okay? So one of the things that is coming clear to you in October is an offer, is a gesture, is a helping hand, is an understanding, is a moment of recognition, is a moment of acknowledgement. And it's setting you up for a much more balanced, a much more healthy life. It is setting you up for relationships, situations that you feel as though the payoff is worth it. And that will not take away from your emotions anymore. It won't take away from your energy. Because Lord knows, with Mars being retrograde in Aries, a lot of us are lacking energy. And this Ten of Swords moment for you, when you acknowledge the pain, when you realize that you're very hurt about something, or you're still worried about something, or you still miss someone, or you still feel that you are going through a process that you thought you'd wrapped up, as you give in to it, as you give in to those feelings of disappointment, and you're not determined to just proceed to look brave, to proceed to get things done, as you give in and indulge your emotions for just a second, the energy starts to move. 8 of Wands, the communication starts to come up. There's a butterfly trying to get into my window. I can see him. I'm taking that as a metaphor for you. As you give in to the darkness, you realize that that is actually your moment of transformation. Because if you try to ignore something, hoping that it will go away, it gains more power. You know, when you leave something to work on its own, if you don't work through it yourself, if you leave something to develop, to move, to work, to do things behind the scenes, its power increases because there is no regulation. There is no adversary to stop that momentum. It can only get bigger. And you realize that, and you start to see real growth. And if it's career growth that you're looking for, Capricorn, it is here. 10 of Pentacles. But with the Page of Pentacles beside it, I can't help but feel that it lies in mini Capricorn. It lies in who you were. Children know so much more than we do, really, because they're fresh at it. Their souls are more fresh. They know they've been here before, but they don't become conditioned to behave a certain way all the time. You will do well this month if you indulge your inner child a little bit, and you indulge your shadow a little bit, and you understand that having a darker side, having a more primitive side, having emotional characteristics that you would prefer not to have is actually not a sign that there's anything wrong with you. But as I said, they will work with you if you acknowledge them and work with them rather than leave them to fester, because you can't get rid of your shadow side. And when you do acknowledge these feelings, you find yourself going after bigger opportunities, bigger financial investments, making more money, traveling more, seeing the world differently. And yes, I said traveling more, because if you think that this is going to last forever, it's not. 6 of Swords, 6 of Pentacles. This transitional phase, Capricorn, is moving you towards equality. And it's leading the rest of the world towards equality as well. Your energy is very, very important at the moment, and it's very, very heightened. And it can feel frustrating to you because you feel like you should be doing more when actually the opposite is true. Your ruler is taking care of things on its own. It just requires you to look inward a little bit and see where you've been repressed or restricted, emotionally speaking. And that's heading you towards great things. 6 So I will see you in the extended Capricorn if you want to join me there. And if not, I will see you in the next set of readings. Bye, Capricorn.